Pickings have been slim for Nabamba's pride since her fight with a startled warthog. The lioness is limping from the encounter. And even the pride's big male, Jabu, wonders when his next meal will come. There's been no kill for 3 days, and Nabamba's cubs are hungry. Survival is tough across this tawny continent, and for the lions of Pinda Reserve, etched into the heart of Zululand, only those with speed and cunning will eat. For this pride anyway, it's been a long time between meals. The young bull is shot by rangers. Jabu had waited too long for his lioness to feed him. Overnight, his stealth carried him into the path of a careless zebra. The rest of the herd is still skittish. One animal had already lost his tail to a hungry pride, but for the dazed stallion, it was all over in seconds. Dusk activity by the waterhole rekindles the interest of the pride. The big male watches his kill from a distance, most exhausted by the chase, exhilarated by they conserve energy 20 hours a day, waking only to groom and hunt. Jabu will feast later. Tired from the hunt, he needs to rest. But his prey will be safe. The lioness shows little sign of her injured leg, but the tusks of the warthog have torn sinew and muscle, slowing her in the pursuit of prey. Once again, Nabamba and her pride will go hungry. But the big lioness senses another kill nearby. A young giraffe slain by humans will provide meat for her cubs. Leaving the pride, Nabambo follows the scent. Through modern times, most of southern Africa's wildlife has been ravaged by hunting and habitat loss. Farmland, overgrazed and buffeted by domestic stock, has ripped the heart out of the original bush. The open, broad-leaved woodland, acacia bushveld, and wetland habitat had all but disappeared, taking with it the wildlife. Left alone, the older cubs know the drill. They will wait for Nabambo's call to take them to the kill. Hectares of farmland brought up in KwaZulu-Natal along South Africa's eastern seaboard. What followed was the largest game restocking program ever seen on the subcontinent.
The land was overgrazed to a certain extent, it wasn't in very good shape. They put all these farms together, put a perimeter fence around it, and brought in a lot of game.
Adult lions have few enemies, and cubs, even those 10 months old, are at the mercy of leopard
managed to get
and
them
other
used to the
predators.
area before the lions came on, because the lions are a more superior predator as such, and would dominate the cheetahs. We wanted to get them settled first before the lions came in.
Andrew Lewis is habitat manager at Pinda, one of those committed to the restoration of southern Africa's ecosystem. Pinda is the Zulu word for return, and the aim of his company, Conservation Corporation Africa, Nabambo has is to reached the return the kill, land to its traditional but her wildlife, daughter is there and first. at the same time, restore the Even habitat though to its females original hunt state. together, rivalry for the prey is fierce. The big lioness begins to trek back for her cubs, but the youngsters have heard her call and they meet halfway. And the reserve's lion pride has already earned its keep.
The lions on this property are actually
Nabambo settles herself in the long grass.
And that they are a benefit to the
The
wildlife.
cubs are
The dog
unfamiliar
fighters,
with her
lions,
behaviour.
Elephants, for example, and rhinos, and even possibly giraffes. But those are the main ones that people come to see. And we're very, very fortunate to be able to have lions on the property. And I think those lions that we have given us amazing value for our guests. And by getting a guest in here, we're getting revenue into the
The
area.
female will
And it's good
usually
for the wildlife
head the charge with any kill, splitting the hide of the victim and leading the way for the pride to eat. But there is human scent around the giraffe, The big lioness is cautious. She watches her cubs, hidden, alert to any potential threat. The cubs are curious, confused by this new smell. The lioness moves in for a final check. Jabu has returned to his kill, but she has already made up her mind. The carcass is tainted. There is no feeding. There are foreign traces. A dangerous ambient. Lions will gloat over their prey, delaying the first bite until the meat ripens. Instinct tells her this is not food. The prospect of the meal is to be relished as much as the eventual feast. Disappointed, Nabambo moves away. The scent of another night stalk already in the wind. Meanwhile, Nabambo's pride is on the prowl. The older cubs are 10 months ago, weaned, but still dependent upon Nabambo for food. The cubs are learning to stalk. They were killed for another 6 months. Young male lions are usually ejected from the pride when they are about 2 years old. Only for themselves, they form hunting groups with other isolated males. Nabambo's cubs are sure to do the place. The lioness isn't far behind. They're time for hunting new cub. Nabambo's 2-year-old daughter also lives with Jabu has returned to his kill with another younger male. 7-week twins and 3-year-old Tembi is a son from a previous liaison with Nabambo. And the two paired up after Tembi was ousted from the pride. Are lazy and will gladly let the females track down prey. But the theory that males won't hunt is a fallacy. Jabu has little time for his small cub himself. When he is older, the male will hunt with his fathers, but for the moment, the big male has nothing to do with his young son. Dejected, the cub finds solace among his siblings. Smaller creatures scatter in the vicinity of the two lions. There will be no hunting for a while. Bloated after the zebra kill, both males will sleep for the next day, oblivious of their surroundings. A young giraffe lies helpless in the grass. The animal's complicated pairs or groups means it is unable to rest its neck for around 30% in daylight. Lack of mobility means blood to the brain hunters are more successful, leaving the animal disabled. Lions are sociable cats, the only group to take part in communal hunts. Efforts to lift the head fail, and rather than leave the giraffe vulnerable to predators, the young bull is shot by rangers. Ambush is an important part of the lion's strategy. Often one pride female will round up the prey from the front, driving it towards a second lioness. As in most cases, the pride male will only get involved if most big cats. They can serve energy 20 hours a day, waking only to groom and hunt. Accidents involving humans are rare in southern Africa's game reserves. Our primal fear of an injured leg has been well documented, torn sinew and muscle, slowing lions seldom attack if they're not provoked. At Pinder, great care is taken to limit the number of people viewing game. Emphasis is placed on causing the animal as little stress as possible. Nabambo and a pride will go hungry. But the big lioness senses another kill nearby. A young giraffe slain by humans will provide meat for her cubs.
They don't normally go out and
Leaving the pride, Nabambo follows the scent.
Opportunists, though, and I certainly think that if your lion is very hungry and is stressed, I don't think they'll necessarily go out to hunt you down, but if you interfere with them, they'll certainly kill you. And there's a good chance they might eat you at the same time.
Left alone, the older cubs know the drill. They will wait for Nabambo's call to take them
With
to the
all
kill.
animals, it's how you treat them is what's the reaction you're going to get back from them. Certainly, all our guides go through a training course, and they're all brought up to a certain standard. There's a certain operating ethic with regards to viewing animals, and we certainly try and be as sensitive to the animals as possible.
The cubs are restless and a little afraid. Adult lions have few enemies, but cubs, even those 10 months old, are at the mercy of leopard and other predators. Cradled within the arms of the Yolanda Mountains and the Indian Ocean, Pindar covers one of the most diverse regions of Africa. Here are found 7 different ecosystems, from palm savanna and bush veld to rare sand. Nabambo has reached the kill, but her daughter is the first. From the past, even though females hunt together, rivalry for the prey is fierce. The big lioness begins the trek back for her cubs, but the youngsters have heard her call and they meet halfway. Where cotton, pineapple and cattle farms once stood, lion now roam their habitat again. Nabambo settles herself in the long grass. Traditional neighbours. The cubs are unfamiliar with her behaviour. The female will usually head the charge with any kill, splitting the hide of the victim and leading the way for the pride to eat. But there is human scent around the giraffe, and the big lioness is cautious. She watches her cubs, hidden, alert to any potential threat. The cubs are curious, confused by this new smell. The lioness moves in for a final check, but she has already made up her mind. The carcass is tainted. There are foreign traces, the dangerous aliens. Instinct tells her this is not food fit for her cubs. Disappointed, Nabambo moves away. The scent of another night's on the wall ready in the wind rekindles the interest of the pride. Nabambo is typical of most big cats. They conserve energy 20 hours a day. The lioness can eat more than waking only to groom and hunt. This could be a long wait for a little cub. Nkosi approaches the kill cautiously. Sometimes the lioness will turn on the cubs. But today, the lioness shows no little sign of her injured leg, but the tusks of the warthog have torn sinew and muscle, slowing her in the pursuit of prey. Once again, Nabambo and her pride will go hungry. But the big lioness senses another kill nearby. A young giraffe slain by humans will provide meat for her cubs. Leaving the pride, Nabambo follows the scent. Lions never eat the stomach of a kill. She will bury it before dragging off the cubs. This way, hyenas and other predators are thrown off the scent. The evidence has been buried. The carcass is unknown. Left alone, the older cubs know the drill. They will wait for Nabambo's call to take them to the kill. Hears the call. It is the second this morning. The first was the strangling cry of the nyala as Nabambo broke the young buck's back. There was no struggle. The big lioness is a seasoned hunter. The day moves into shadow. The cubs are restless and a little afraid. The rest of the pride will feast on the carcass after Nabambo retires. First, they will drag it into the bushes, away from prying eyes, are at the mercy of raptors already circling the kill scene. The kill has created a nerve reached the kill. Even but her daughter is bad tempered, ignorant, is flustered. Even though females hunt together, a rivalry for the prey is fierce. Wildebeest are a favourite prey for lions. Naturally, they feel vulnerable. But for the pride, there is no agitation. The big lioness begins the trek back for her cubs. Sleep for the next day. But the youngsters even have heard her call and they meet halfway. The 7 twins have tasted blood for the first time. But it will be many months before they take part in a hunt. For the moment, they just want to play with Nkosi. Mabambo settles herself in the long grass. The cubs are unfamiliar with her behaviour. The older cub is beginning to take on the shady mane of the bigger males. Within 18 months he will be hunting with them, competing for his own pride. In the meantime, though, he has to contend with his young siblings. The female will usually head the charge with any kill, splitting the hide of the victim and leading the way for the pride to eat. But there is human scent around the giraffe, and the big lioness is cautious. She watches her cubs, hidden, alert to any potential threat. The cubs are curious, confused by this new smell. He has missed out on the kill, but he didn't share his zebra with the rest of the pride the previous day. The lioness moves in for a final check, but she has already made up her mind. The carcass is tainted. There are foreign traces, a dangerous ambience. A half-hearted attempt at mating, but the big lion's attention is drawn to a curious onlooker fit for her cubs. Disappointed, with the pride so close, moves the giraffe won't be sitting for long. The scent of another night sitting is when they're at their most vulnerable. Jabu keeps an eye on his group. Pride takeovers by other males are common, and savage fights can occur between the pride male and the intruder. If a takeover is successful, the new male will usually kill all the suckling young of his former rival. When a nursing mother loses her cubs, she comes into heat within a few weeks. The normal interval between cubs is about 2 years, with a gestation time of 3 to 4 months. Jabu marks his territory. 2 days, but it may soon be all in vain. To his kill with a fresh infusion of lion genes is necessary to avoid the effects of long-term inbreeding. Is a son from a previous liaison with Mabambo, and the two paired up. It's likely Jabu and his son Tembi will be swapped for males from another game reserve. This will broaden the bloodlines of future lions and avoid the genetic risks currently facing the pride at Pinda. Vultures have found the dead buck, but there is little left of the carcass. November and her pride have eaten. Pride males are lazy, tries to dislodge and will gladly let the females track down prey. But the theory that males won't hunt tomorrow is a fallacy. The next day, there will be another kill. Male will hunt for himself. November's cubs will grow up strong. Lunches provided by the lioness, hyenas or other predators. Smaller creatures scatter in the vicinity of the two lions. The lion is the greatest of all predators, hunting the essence of all that is Africa. And yet, there are fewer than 50,000 left in both males will sleep for the next day. The future for the species lies in managed reserves such as Pinda. Here in Zululand, the lion roams free for the first time since the beginning of this century. At Pinda, the philosophy has always been simple. Africa's wildlife land, undervalued and underutilized, is the continent's most precious natural resource. Lions hunting in pairs or groups have a success rate of around 30% in daylight. African Renaissance. But studies show single hunters are more successful at the Zulu word for return. Maybe too, it's a chance for man to redeem himself. Just a little. Lions are sociable cats, the only group to take part in communal hunts. Ambush is an important part of the lion's strategy. Often one pride female will round up the prey from the front, driving it towards a second lioness. As in most cases, the pride male will only get involved if he has to.